There was a man named Leonard Hoffman who came into my shop every month for 40 years. 40 years! I knew his shoe size better than I knew my own children's birthdays. 9.5, wide width, always needed extra support in the arch because he'd been on his feet his whole career. Postal worker, walked miles every day delivering mail in Bay Ridge. Leonard retired in 1989, and the week after his retirement party, he came into my shop with a look on his face I'd never seen before. Not happy, not sad exactly, more like worried, confused. "Sal," he said, "I think I made a mistake." I asked him what happened. "At my retirement party," he said, "my brother-in-law asked how we were set for retirement, and I told him. I told him we had about 400,000 saved up. Now, in 1989, $400,000 was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money today, adjusted for everything." Leonard and his wife Doris had been careful their whole lives, saved every month, lived below their means, did everything right. "So what's the problem?" I asked. Leonard sat down in my customer chair, the same chair he'd sat in hundreds of times, and he looked like he'd aged 10 years in a week. "The problem," he said, "is that now everyone knows, and everything is different. My name is Salvatore Benedetto, and I want to talk to you about something that doesn't get discussed enough. What happens when you tell people how much money you have? Not because I'm a financial advisor. I fix shoes for a living. But I spent 53 years on my knees working on people's feet. And when you're in that position, people talk. They tell you things they don't tell anyone else. And over those decades, I watched the same story play out again and again. Someone retires, someone shares their number, and everything changes, usually for the worse. So if you're approaching retirement, or you're already there, and you're thinking about telling your family or friends how much you've saved, sit down. Let me tell you what I've seen. Let me tell you what happened to Leonard. And let me explain why the smartest thing you can do with your retirement number is keep it to yourself. The first thing you need to understand: people don't hear what you're actually saying. When Leonard told his brother-in-law they had 400,000 saved, Leonard was thinking about decades of careful planning. He was thinking about how that money had to last him and Doris for the rest of their lives. Maybe 20 years, maybe 30. He was thinking about health care costs, about inflation, about all the things that could go wrong. But his brother-in-law? He just heard $400,000. And to someone who doesn't have that, who maybe has 50,000 or nothing at all, 400,000 sounds like a fortune. It sounds like unlimited freedom. It sounds like Leonard and Doris would never have to worry about anything ever again. This is the problem with sharing your number. People compare it to their own situation, not to your actual needs. The word millionaire carries weight in our culture. Even amounts less than that, 500,000, 800,000, they sound enormous to people who are struggling. They don't understand that your retirement savings isn't a spending account. It's an engine. It has to generate income for the rest of your life. And engines have rules. They have limits. They can break down if you push them too hard. But try explaining that to someone who's looking at you and thinking, they're rich now. So, here's my first piece of advice. Before you share any number with anyone, ask yourself, will this person understand what this money actually means? Or will they just hear rich? If the answer is the second one, keep your mouth shut. Let me tell you what happened to Leonard after that retirement party. Within a month, his sister called. She and her husband were behind on their mortgage. Could Leonard help? Just a loan, she said. They'd pay it back. Leonard gave them $8,000. They never paid it back. And when Leonard eventually brought it up, his sister acted like he was the one being difficult, like he was being greedy for even mentioning it. A few months later, his nephew needed help with tuition. His daughter wanted to renovate her kitchen. His brother-in-law, the same one he'd told at the party, needed money to start a business that never materialized. Each request felt small in isolation. Each one came wrapped in family obligation, in guilt, in you have so much and we're struggling. And Leonard couldn't say no, because now everyone knew what he had. And saying no to family when they know you have money, that makes you the villain. That makes you the selfish one. That makes you the person who turned their back on blood. By 1994, 5 years into retirement, Leonard and Doris had given away almost $80,000. $80,000. 20% of their entire savings gone. Not spent on their own lives, given away to people who never paid it back, and in some cases, never even said thank you. Sal, Leonard told me one afternoon, I feel like I've been robbed, but I can't even be angry about it because I handed over the money myself. Here's what I want you to understand. Once people know your number, the relationship changes. It doesn't matter how much they love you. It doesn't matter how good their intentions are. Something shifts when money enters the equation. I watched this happen to a woman named Patricia Novak. Retired teacher, came into my shop for decades. Lovely woman, saved carefully her whole life, ended up with about $300,000 when she retired in 1995. Patricia made the mistake of telling her adult children exactly what she had. She thought she was being transparent. She thought they'd appreciate knowing the family finances were stable. Instead, her children started seeing her differently. When they went out to dinner, there was an unspoken expectation that Patricia would pay. When her son's car broke down, he called her first, not to ask for advice, but to ask for money. When her daughter wanted to take the grandchildren to Disney World, somehow it became Patricia's trip to fund. None of this was malicious. Her children loved her. But knowing the number changed how they calculated things in their heads. 300,000 seemed like plenty. What's a few hundred here, a few thousand there? Patricia told me once, I used to feel like their mother. Now I feel like their bank. That's what happens when people know. You stop being a person and start being a resource. Now, I want to be careful here. I'm not saying your family is greedy. I'm not saying they're bad people. Most of the time, they're not. But money does something strange to relationships.